look at several different options. One of the things about Citizens Climate Lobby, our Citizens Climate Lobby was born with the, excuse me, the idea of one very specific legislative tool. That legislative tool was called carbon fee and dividend. Put a price on carbon, starting at a relatively low amount, about $15 a metric ton of CO2 equivalent. And increase it $10 each year. So $25 a ton in year 2, $35 a ton in year 3, et cetera, et cetera. The money that's collected, and it's multiple trillions of dollars, would be returned to each taxpayer, each citizen. Children, they don't pay taxes yet. Adults, whatever. In equal monthly amounts. So Bill Gates, who clearly does not need the money, and you would get the same amount, a check each month. And the money that was collected, the dividends, the checks that were distributed, would start prior to the collection of money. In other words, the Treasury would lend the program the initial dividend amount, and then be reimbursed as money was coming in. The reason for that approach is twofold. One is political. In order to get the Republicans on board, you needed to demonstrate that you were not growing big government. The money wasn't going into the federal coffers to use for whatever those crazy Democrats wanted to use it for, right? The second thing, and most important thing, is an environmental justice component. Because if you tax carbon, that means gasoline at the pump is going to go up. That means your clothing is going to go up. That means your food is going to go up. We're doing that now, and we're not even taxing carbon. Economic analysis. This has been done by many different groups, independent analyses, have shown that if you look at the wealth distribution in quintiles, the lower 3 quintiles, so the bottom 20%, the next 20%, the next 20%, will either come out ahead or break even. The next quintile, 60 to 80%, probably costs them a little bit. And then the top quintile would be the ones with more out of pocket. Why do you think that might be? Do you go to a private jet? Do you have 5 cars? Right? How many boats do you have? Right? All of that requires fuel. All of that costs money. If you spend more money, it'll cost you more. Right? When we were pushing this, or promoting it, pushing is a bad term. When we were promoting it, there was, for 2 Congresses, bills pending for carbon fee and dividend. The Energy Innovation Act was one of them. That had the largest number of bipartisan supporters. This was kind of before the current president existed in our mindset. There were equal number of Democrats and Republicans. I think there were probably 60, 65 co-sponsors of the bill. Didn't go anywhere. We were constantly communicating with elected officials. That was probably the best of CCL's activities. When administration changed and it was clear that climate legislation was going to be on the back burner, CCL pivoted to, I don't want to call it low-hanging fruit, but individual pieces of legislation that will at least chip away at that 3.3 to 3.25 to 3.2, because every little bit counts. But carbon fee and dividend is the soul of Citizens Climate Lobby, and this membership can't wait for the opportunity to start moving on that again. All right.